In preparation for the spring turkey hunting season, I'm loading up Call of the Wild for a simulated hunt. All across North America, fellow hunters are dusting off their shotguns and returning to the woods for America's largest upland game bird. But it's been a long, cold winter, and I'm feeling a little rusty, so I decided to tackle a simulated turkey hunt in Call of the Wild. To make it legit, though, I need to establish the real-life laws and regs that the game doesn't strictly enforce. For starters, I'm only going to shoot the mature gobblers. That means passing on the hens, and, even though the game doesn't actually have jakes, I'll substitute for them by leaving the level 1 males too. Second, I can only use a shotgun or a bow. My preferred shotty is the pump-action 12-gauge Cacciatore, equipped with birdshot and a red dot. My choice for a bow will be the 60-pound Bear Claw Light, with a 3-pin sight and the 300-grain arrows for full integrity. Sadly, there's no slate or box-style collars, but my top choice either way is a wild turkey mouth collar. There's a crow call too, which is used to evoke a response from a distance. Finally, there's the trusty electronic collar if I need to get creative. Of course, I'll keep a couple of turkey decoys handy, in case I need to coax a gobbler out of the brush and into the open. Lastly, for concealment, turkey hunters often post up under a tree, so I'll improvise as I go. I can also use the portable ground blind if the situation calls for it. But for all the rules I need to follow, I also have a couple that I'm definitely going to ignore. For one, I need some practice, and I'm not worried about my digital populations, so bag limits are going to get overlooked. For two, I'm going to use a bunch of the in-game aids to clarify my surroundings for the video. And lastly, I live in the Northeast US, and should technically be hunting Easterns. But my Layton Lakes map is conveniently well explored, so I'll be going after Miriam's instead. Okay, enough chit-chat. Let's go shoot something. It took a little practice, but I quickly figured out what worked and what didn't. For one, the crow collar is a bit broken, as I expected to get a single shot gobble out of a strutter, but instead the entire flock turned into songbirds. This was a little immersion breaking, so I stopped using that one pretty quickly. I also found the decoys to be sadly underpowered, as they had very little effect on most of the birds. Sure, I could stack the attraction strength by setting out a dozen decoys, but that didn't feel very realistic, so I made do with just the two that I carried with me. But all troubles aside, I was most successful with the spot and stalk method of finding a bird in a zone, sneaking into range or calling them with a mouth collar, and taking the shot when the time came. But along the way, I had a few fun hunts that were worth sharing. Sadly, turkeys don't roost in the game, but I decided to do a hunt in the early morning hours anyway, to get the full experience. I found an early morning zone in the southwestern corner of the map, so I spawned in at the tent along the shoreline and headed north through the woods. Ooh. Hello there. So the zone is just over that rise right there. I'm not sure where they come in from, so I guess I'll hang back and wait here for a bit. See if they show up. Ah. Yeah, they come. I'm gonna try to move up on the side of this hill. Maybe get a better vantage on them. There they are. Ooh, nice little gobbler there too. Bunch of hens. Not a whole lot of cover there though. The wind's bad for hiding in the woods. I've I've got some cover up on top of the ridge there, though. Maybe I can drop down into this draw here and sneak into that brush. Well, they're still there. So that's a good sign. Stay hidden right here. Can't quite see them though. Let's bring out the collar. Oh, here they come. There he is. Hey, buddy. Gotcha. See you, ladies. No other gobblers. Let's see what we got. Oh, it's a nice bird. Silver. This brown-colored gobbler scored silver at 4.04. With a nice long beard and some big-ass spurs, I'd take him any day of the week if I got him in the field. I couldn't have asked for a better shot placement, as I hit him directly in the head and neck at 11 meters with a 12-gauge Cacciatore. A short time later, I was crossing the northern end of the river in Topeka when I came across a turkey track. Well, okay. Why not? Finally. Let's see if I can get some eyes on him. Get in the brush and see if I can call him in down here. Perfect. Perfect. That was a good stock. What did we get? Gold. A couple of calls and a little bit of patience did the trick here. This fella scored gold at 4.13. His head's a little more red and he weighs a little bit more than the last, but not by a whole lot. This shot landed perfectly too, taking him out with a 12-gauge shot to the dome at 8 meters. But the best turkey of the bunch I actually found first, but he would prove to be the most difficult. I began my search one rainy afternoon in Winnipeg. And there we have our first turkey. Perhaps I can call it in. Whoop. Right off the bat, hello. Oh my gosh, that's a 3. lovely. That's a light brown 3. Well, let's go after him, shall we? But this would prove to be much harder than I had anticipated. I tracked him all over the side of that hill, but he remained one step ahead of me again and again. But with him being a potential diamond, there was no way I was just going to let him go. So it took a little extra patience, but I finally caught up to him in his rest zone. Found you. There he is, right there. So that is his zone right there. Alright, so let's see if I can get a better vantage on where he is exactly. I snuck in behind him, hoping to get a shot, but I got busted at 75 meters. However, I now knew where to find him. Knowing that he was approaching the zone from the south, I set up a couple of decoys, the electronic collar, and put down a ground blind about 40 meters away to the north. Then I put down a tent a safe distance away from the zone, and returned with my bow a few days later. There he is. There he goes. Where are you going? There we go. No organs, but that shouldn't matter too much with him. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. Diamond. And he is a light brown colored gobbler, scoring 4.63. The plumage isn't a rare variant, just uncommon. So he's not a super rare, but that's okay with me. My shot must have severed some arteries, but didn't hit the skull, so he escaped a little further than the rest. But the digital breast meat remains intact, and I also get another trophy for my lodge. If it was up to me, there's a few things in Call of the Wild that I'd tweak, but overall it's a decent comparison. And even though it will never really feel like the real thing, it does help get my head back in the game after a long winter off. Spring turkey season opens for me soon, and I can't wait to get my boots on the ground and put a real bird in the freezer. If you enjoyed this hunt, leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for coming along with me, and hope to see you again in the next adventure.